Really windy. Some people would say there's ghosts here. I would say it's just the wind. Hey, it's #1 best-selling author and motivational speaker Erik Qualman. Most of you know me as Equalman. Today on the Super You Show, we have a special guest. We have the CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella, who's going to give us his 7 super tips, how to unlock and unleash your inner superpower.
You've now had to follow Bill Gates and Steve Ballmer, 2 legendary figures. Did you feel at that time that you were really ready for the job following those legends, or were you saying, hey, I can do a better job than they did?
The best advice I got from both Bill and Steve, I think helped me a lot, because their clear message was, don't try to be like us. Don't even bother to sort of say, oh, I'm succeeding these people. Just be your own. In fact, I remember very distinctly, even during the interview process, this is for the board was conducting, they asked me, hey, do you want to be the CEO? And I said, only if you want me to be the CEO. And the feedback I got was, well, but people who want to be CEOs are like, I want to be CEO. I said, look, that's not me. And I remember going and talking to Steve, and he says, yeah, just be yourself. It's too late to change. But when I think about empathy or compassion, I think it's a business essential. We are in the business of basically meeting unmet, unarticulated needs of customers. And there's no way you're going to be able to get that consistently right if you don't have that deep sense of empathy or being able to see what others are seeing.
The way I think about it is, in order to create new things, you got to take all kinds of risk.
Yeah.
You got to take big R&D risk, right? I mean, it's not the day we conceptualize something like this, it was not clear that it'll work.
Yeah.
Right? So you got to take R&D risk, and then ultimately you got to take even inventory risk. So we want to do that for the PC ecosystem. I don't think of that, and that is going to only help my OEM partners. When we first started to where we are now, I feel that we think by Microsoft participating in creating these categories, pushing the envelope, we really grow the entire ecosystem. For me, it was not as much about, oh, we had lost our cool factor or rue any of the misses we had. It was more about being in touch with our core sense of purpose and identity. If you look at it, right, Microsoft's different from a lot of other companies in the sense our first product was the basic interpreter for the Altair. That's what Paul and Bill created. And what it telegraphs for me is that we create technology so that others can create more technology. That's who we are. We're a tool maker. And in a world right today where every walk of life and every industry is being shaped by digital technology, our original thesis is even more important. And I wanted to be in touch with it. It was my grandfather's education and the eventual career that enabled my father to pursue his own education, which eventually allowed me to follow my own passions. The opportunity my grandfather was given impacted the trajectories of the generations to come. This personal story reflects that often repeated adage, talent is everywhere, but opportunity is not. Today's event is about education and technology. More specifically, it is about empowering the students of today to create the world of tomorrow. I'm reading a book, God, I forget the thing, it's The Multiple Literacies of Leadership. It's a fascinating book which sort of speaks in some sense to this intellectual pursuit now I have around saying it's not just one stroke you can have. You gotta think about the complexity, the ambiguity that exists, the uncertainty that exists in the world. You need to be able to then turn that into understanding and clarity. And it's not, you can't be excellent in just one thing, even as a leader. And the way you lead. Somebody sort of said this very beautifully to me, which is, for example, clarity. I talk a lot about what leaders fundamentally do is about bringing clarity. But it's about clarity of where you need to get to,
but not be too dogmatic about the means. I would say one of the things that I have learned is, as a CEO, what is your job, right? I mean, you sort of feel like, oh yeah, you know what it is, and you get the intellectual side of it. But there is something that only a CEO uniquely can do, which is set that tone that then can capture the soul of the collective. And it's culture. That's why I'd like to even use that expression that at least I've come to realize, and I'm still discovering all the aspects of it, which is the job of the CEO is curating the culture that makes excellence happen.
So until next time, this is Equalman from beautiful Paris, Texas. Reminding all of us, it's not what we take from the world, it's what we leave behind. Obviously, you've got a lot of... And then number 3 is to always, always, always... Yeah.